and today I have a special video for the Inner Circle group. Today what we're going to do is we're going to discuss the basic structure of your enterprise, the bare bone basic structure of your enterprise, so that we cut out all the fluff, all the funny stuff that you see, all the business terms and terminologies, all of that stuff. We just cut it out, basic structure of your enterprise and how you can set it up for yourself. Now, there are three types of people that this particular video is meant for. The first type of person is somebody who wants to set up your own business so that you're not dependent on your employer, etc. The second type of person is somebody who already has a small business and you have literally like one customer on whom you're so dependent and things like that. Or if you are impacted, your current business is impacted by the whole corona slowdown, etc. You want more options in life. That's the second type of person. The third type of person is somebody who has no commercial interest, but you would be interested in setting up your own brand, because your brand or your message is something that will outlive you. So when you're off from the planet, you don't want only your kids and your grandkids to remember who you are and what contribution you made. So it's very important to start setting up your own personal brand, even if you have no commercial interest. So if you're not among these three kinds of people, then probably this video is not for you. Okay, so what we're going to discuss is the basic structure of business, and the basic structure of business is 3-tier, and I will be talking to you in very simple language and then collating that with some of the more complex terms they use in business, but it doesn't mean anything very complicated. If business was very complicated, all the high school dropouts and all the college dropouts would not be doing business, right? Okay, the first component, and here's where it starts, is your message. Okay, first component is your message. The third component is your business house. Okay, and when I say your business house, it doesn't really mean like a big building with a bunch of employees and a big board in front. None of that stuff. A business house is basically just a collection of products and services that you bring together in order to solve the problem of somebody in the market. Who's that somebody? We'll just talk about that in a second. So the first part is your message. Okay, that's where it all starts. And what happens is when you have a message and when you share that message with people, some of these people may get attracted and they'll start hanging around you. They'll contact you. They'll be interested. You can figure out what their interest level is using some tools and techniques I'll tell you. And then what happens is some of these people take a journey with you where they come to your products and services in order to solve their problem. So at the end of the day, a business is about solving problems. And what you do is you attract the people whose problem needs to be solved using your message. Okay, what is it that you're trying to do? Who are you trying to do it for? How do you intend to do it? That is your message. And then these are what we call prospects. These are people who hang around you. They're interested in your message. They want to know more. And then some of them will take this journey all the way from your message to your products and services. This journey is called conversions. Okay, so you have your message or messaging, you have conversions, and you have products and services, or your business house. We call it the business house, which is just a collection of products and services. You don't really need to have a business house. So now what happens is most people think that this is the most important part of the business. Hey, I want to do business, but I don't know what products and services to offer. I want to do a business, but I don't know how to set up my office, how to hire employees, what to do, where to start, etc. This is the least important part of the problem. This is the least important part of the puzzle. Most people think it's the most important. This is the least important part of the puzzle. Then some people say that, hey, conversions or basically selling, I am not very comfortable in doing any kind of selling because it makes me uncomfortable, and usually when I try to sell to people, it makes them uncomfortable as well. And I don't want to be in a situation where I'm uncomfortable and they're uncomfortable, so I don't want to cause any discomfort to anyone. This is the second least important part of the puzzle. It's not very important because we have, I'll be talking about this to you in future videos. We have different ways of doing this stuff that, there is literally no discomfort involved and the whole thing happens on autopilot. So, don't worry about this part. Now, the important part that we're going to discuss, and which is the number one most important part of this whole puzzle, is your message. A lot of people say, why is message important? Unless you have a product to sell, you cannot do business because money doesn't change hands unless you have products to sell. I get it. But if you look at the last 200 years of history, which includes almost the entire industrial revolution, you will see that any big company or any big brand that has been there in the last 200-year history has always been driven by a message or a philosophy. Okay? And if you look at any interview that any business owner, billionaire, any CEO, any chairman of a large group of companies like the Virgin Group, like Sir Richard Branson, etc., anybody who has ever given an interview has talked about their message or their philosophy, right? You look at Tata's, you look at Ambani's, you look at MDH, the masala company, MDH, right? You look at the Virgin Group, you look at Elon Musk and his companies, you look at Amazon and Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates and Microsoft, Apple and Steve Jobs. Any interview in print or on TV or on YouTube, they always talk about their message and their core philosophy. That is what drives a big company or a big business. But to the middle class listener, we never listen to the message. We barely hear the philosophy. It doesn't even register in our brains. What registers in our brains is, well, how many fleet of aircraft does Virgin Group have? How many offices does Tata have? How many different products is Ambani into? What is their turnover? How rich is he, etc. And if I were to ask you, think about the last 5 interviews of any 5 big business CEOs or chairman of the board that you have listened to, which could include maybe Tata's or Ambani's or whoever, Indians or, people abroad. And what did they say about their message or philosophy? You will probably not remember if you're like me, because I never used to hear or remember these things, and it never used to even register in my brain. But lately, over the last 3 or 4 years, I found out that all big businesses are driven by some message or philosophy. It is the message that attracts your potential customers whose problem you want to solve. And it is because of all these customers that you figure out what problem you have to solve or what products or services you have to offer them. It all starts with the message. Now, this part is the most important part of the rest of this whole puzzle. In fact, in the information age or in the optimization age, the new age that we call it, this and this part is literally so easy that you can go head to head with any multi-thousand crore brand today and have similar results, which means you could compete on products and services with any 10,000 crore rupee company and have literally similar results, right? Now, of course, you're not going to start today and suddenly build 10,000 crore rupee company, but if you were to approach 100 people with your product and they were to approach those same 100 people with their product, you have a very good chance of outselling that multi-crore rupee competition because of the age that we are living in. So those barriers don't exist today, but still 9 out of 10 businesses fail today because 9 out of 10 businesses are set up by people who are doing business for the first time, and they miss the most important part, which is this, the message. Now we're going to talk about this for a little bit, and how do we build our message together, because your message is what's going to bring or attract different people who think like you. Your message is something that goes out into the market and people come looking because the message attracts them. Now that message may be focused on their problem and that will attract them, or it may be focused on your unique perspective in life and that will attract them. And once you do that, any product or services that you recommend to them, they will buy. Okay. Some of these products and services do not even need to be developed by you. right? So if you try to go and build complicated products and services to service the market, there are two problems that happen. First of all, it costs a whole lot of time, it costs a whole lot of money that you and I don't have. And the second issue is that those products and services enter a marketplace which is already glutted with other products and services. There is so much stuff in the market today that if you are into making stuff, you cannot compete. I mean, it's super difficult to do that. So don't be in the making stuff business. Be in the community or getting your message across or collecting a community or servicing a community business where all of these things can be put together. Now, what are some of the products and services? And again, I'll be doing a separate video on this, but what are some of the products and services that you could sell to customers? The ideal structure of a recession-proof business, a business that will keep working for you even if a corona lockdown happens for 2 months. There are 3 components. The first component is, of course, a hard product or service, which is like a traditional product or service. You could be providing professional services if you're like a lawyer or a doctor or a chartered accountant. You could be providing allied services, which is helping people improve their sales and marketing like I do. You could be helping individuals in getting more peace of mind using meditation, which is a huge market today. You could be helping people become healthier by the use of yoga and all of that, which is a whole big market today. Or you could go into allied products and services where somebody who's a yoga practitioner like Swami Baba Ramdev ties up with a company called Patanjali, and they bring their message together, which is you can be healthy doing yoga, etc. And in addition to that, just remove all this other inorganic stuff from your house and use these organic shampoos or soaps or organic dal, chawal or whatever it is, right? So the second component of your product and service portfolio is going to be a digital product and service, which is a digital downloadable advice from you, which could be in the form of PDFs, which could be in the form of videos, audios, templates, where people can get some benefit in their life by downloading either your advice or a step-by-step method to do something that gives them that benefit. And again, we'll talk about some of the major niches where you can do that. There's a lot of opportunity. And the third is consultation, high-end consultation, high-ticket consultation. This is where a set of market who has the budget to afford your products and services, or who has the budget to afford you and your personal time, will say, give me 1 hour of your time, I'm willing to pay 10,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees or whatever it is, and I want you to come into my company, or I want you to come into my house and teach my employees or teach my family how to do this stuff, and we are happy to pay you whatever your rates might be at that time. So you could charge anywhere from 5,000 rupees to literally 5 lakh rupees an hour for your consultation. Now there's a method to get there. You can't start it from day one, but this is the product and services ecosystem that you offer. Now, if you're currently starting out and you do not have a hard product and service, instead of wasting your time and money building a product and services which may or may not be successful in the marketplace, what you could do is pick up products and services from the affiliate marketplace, where they pay you in order to promote the product and services. The customers pays you in order to recommend them the right product and services. So you get paid from both ends, and all you do is pick this up from the marketplace and deliver it over here, and both parties thank you. Okay. The way it works for me is I'm into consulting for sales and marketing acceleration. So I help companies improve their sales and marketing. And during that sales and marketing acceleration or automation, sometimes they require certain softwares to do the job for them. At which point I have alliance with 5 or 6 different software companies that provide software that does that job. And what I do is I tell the customer, over here, it would be best if you hand off this job from, instead of a human, to a machine. And these are 5 or 6 softwares that I recommend, or I typically recommend only 1 or 2 out of the 5 or 6 that I'm tied up with. And I tell them that I'd like to tell you that I am actually a promotional partner or an alliance partner with these software companies. So if you end up using their product, you'll be using it at list rate or whatever the usual rate is, but they'll probably pay me something at the back end. If that's fine with you, but I totally believe in this product and service, I probably use it myself as well. But if you don't like that, then you could use anything that you wish to use, in your business. And literally 7 to 8 times out of 10, they'll be like, boss, you're the consultant. You have to install it. You have to make it successful. I don't care what what you use, as long as it's within my budget, and I don't care what brand you use, right? So what happens is I end up using or installing a product or a software product or a software license at their location, and I get a small payment from the backend from the software company, in addition to getting the payment from the customer whose problem I'm resolving. Now what happens is, if I were to build this software from scratch, it would cost me millions of dollars, because these companies are million-dollar companies, and I would probably not be able to do it very well because I'm not a software engineer, right? So what happens is, I utilize in my product portfolio, I have this and I have this. You can get my consulting. I will teach you how to do things. In fact, I will come in for 4 to 5 days in a row and help your sales and marketing people understand how to do the stuff better. And then I will recommend you something that will put the whole thing on steroids, get you 100x the return for a little bit of licensing fee. And you can go and buy any software that you want. But I have 2 or 3 softwares that I highly recommend. But beware that while I'm recommending them, I have something to gain from that. And in 7 to 8 cases out of 10, the company will say, we don't care as long as you are the one installing it and you are the one who's guaranteeing the results. Okay. And then you can have some digital products where literally you don't need to be involved in dealing with anybody. You can have a website, or you can have an InstaMojo store where people who know you or who know about you or who hit your Facebook page can literally go to the InstaMojo store and literally try out your products and services for a very little fee, like maybe 200 rupees or 2000 rupees or 5000 rupees. You can sell them a course, templates, and an entire step-by-step method how to implement 1, 2, 3, 4 items. And you don't need to be involved in the sale. It's there on the InstaMojo store. People can go buy and download, etc. Okay. Now, this particular thing is very exciting because this stays up even during coronavirus times. Okay. So while you cannot go to work and you cannot sell your products and services during coronavirus time, this particular item can stay alive during coronavirus time, and you don't even need to be personally involved because people are literally going to the InstaMojo store, paying, downloading and reading, watching or whatever. Okay, so this is your business house. Let's talk about your message. Very, 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 very important. People want to solve a problem, definitely. But there are hundreds of people in the marketplace who are claiming that they can solve that problem for these people, for these prospects, right? So how do they know whom to hire, or whose services to buy, or whose products to buy? Now, what typically happens is people end up buying from a person or a company that seems to be the expert or the best position to solve their problem. People buy from people or from companies who seem to be the best position to solve their problem for them, right? Not only do they want a solution for their problem, they want the best possible solution from a person or a company that they can truly trust. Okay, which is where your message comes in. If you have a very, very good friend and both of you became friends because you believed in the exact same things, and when you first met in school or maybe in college, one person ended up saying something that the other person connected with, and since then you've been great friends. If you want a problem solved, who is it that you first ask for advice? Even if it's a medical problem or a legal problem, before going to a doctor or a lawyer, you ask your friends for who the best doctor is or who the best lawyer is. So it emerges then that if you have a connect, your message or your philosophy, which could literally be 3 sentences. If you have a connect, if people connect with your message or your philosophy, which could be literally as less as 3 sentences, they will immediately see you as a friend and the best possible person to take advice from in solving their problem. Okay. Now, how do you craft your philosophy? Your philosophy is composed of 3 layers. Okay. The second layer is called your personality. The second layer is called your personality. It is your personality type that will attract certain people who are similar personality type, right? It is your personality type that will make people feel that it gives me a gut feeling that this person is the best person to solve my problem. Now, the issue with personality type is most of us don't even know what our personality type is till we are like 35, 40, 45 years of age. And especially when it comes to going into business, then we start having all kinds of questions. I know what my personality type is, but I don't think it will be useful in any kind of business for any customer whatsoever, right? And I totally agree with you on that. But your personality type is honed and crafted by incidents in your past. So if you have not figured out what your personality type is, or if you have a personality type and you don't know how to have it connect with other people, you start with incidents in your past. There have been certain incidents in your past during your childhood or when you were growing up or even when you were a fully grown adult, etc. There have been incidents that give you an indication of what your personality type is or what your overall philosophy in life is or should be. Okay, and it's from those incidents that we start recognizing our personality type and we start accepting our personality type, and we literally grow into our personality by the time we are 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, whatever it is, right? There are some unlucky people who are unable to grow into their true personality even till the age of 60, 65, and that's a whole different other problem. But if you don't know your personality type, or if you don't understand how it would relate to other people, then your personality type, then look at some of the incidents that have happened in your past that could be a very good indication of what your personality type could be and what your relatable aspects could be or what your philosophy could be, So I'll just give you some examples. Incidents in the past, there is a defining incident in my past which helped me totally understand my personality type. And I'll just tell you my quick story if you already don't know it, because I have it all over Facebook and stuff like that. But what happened was that I was very good at following the system. That the society said that you have to be good at studies, so I was good at studies. I went to good schools. Thanks to my parents, I got great education. And when I passed out of school, not only did I top my entire board, the national board, in 2 subjects out of 5, so I got gold medals, national level gold medals in 2 subjects out of 5. In my first attempt, I got into India's number 2 ranked medical college. I was, I think, in the top 50 people who got in there or something like that. Now, that was a very prestigious thing. So till then, I had been following the society's system, and then somewhere I started feeling that something is off. This is not really making me happy. I'm good at this, etc., but it's not really making me happy. And in order to get advice, I went and spoke with somebody who was senior to me and whose advice I would have otherwise respected. But when they gave me what they thought was good advice, it did not resonate with me. So they said that boss, this is your profession you have chosen, and if you cannot be loyal to your profession, you will never have any success in life whatsoever. And I was at that point I had a straight disconnect. I was like, dude, now I kind of understand why everything does not seem to be all right, and I don't seem to be super happy in spite of all my achievements. It's probably because everybody is part of that system which wants you to be a certain way, and in spite of being a certain way, in spite of being good at that game, if it doesn't make you happy, then you got to look at other things. And when you look at other things, these people are going to try to stop you from taking that decision. So that one incident formed the basis of my philosophy, which was, that person said, if you cannot be true to your profession, if you cannot follow your chosen profession, you'll never be successful at anything in life. And the core of my philosophy became that if you choose, if you want, and if you're willing to work for it, you can be anybody you want in life, in any field that you want in life, regardless of what your education is, regardless of what your upbringing is, regardless of what your family background, your social circumstances, whatever it is. If you choose to do something, if you're willing to work hard for it a little bit, and if you literally dedicate yourself to it, you can be anything you want in life. That is the core of my philosophy. So a little incident in my childhood kind of started forming that message, right? It was still at an infancy, but that was the kernel, that was the core of it, right? So if there is a certain incident, now it may not need to be a difficult incident like the one I'm telling you. It could be a positive incident also, where some mentor or somebody senior kind of suddenly told you something and it connected immediately, then you have to have that instant connect, that boss, this is so true, I could have said it myself. In fact, I resonate with this big time, right? Or, maybe a friend that you were hanging out with suddenly said something that hit home so hard that you're like, dude, that is wiser than 20 years of education that I've had so far. That one statement really hits it home, right? So that any such incident, which could be positive, which could be difficult or negative or whatever, that helped you lock down and say, this is it, man, right? So I'm going on making this circle, but I don't seem to be able to make a perfect circle. And whatever. Okay, and then then you have secondary aspects. The second layer is your actual personality type. Are you an easygoing personality? Are you a serious type of personality? Are you a very hardworking personality? Are you like a bookworm? Are you very outgoing and friendly? What kind of personality type are you will determine your personal, your personal philosophy. Now you'll be surprised. I'm generally a very easygoing guy, and I can be social at times and all of that. But somebody is mentoring me right now. Somebody is teaching me how to do all this online stuff, because I wanted to get my message out via digital means also. And that person who's coaching me is basically a major introvert. He doesn't get out of his house at all. He makes about $3 million a month. And he's a major introvert, and he's like a machinist. He does not appear on social media very, very much. And he can literally work 15 to 18 hours a day, and he has worked 15 to 18 hours a day for the last 6 years, 6 days a week. And that's very different from my personality type. But what I'm trying to say is, this is a part of your overall message. Just because you're one personality type does not mean that you will not attract people of a different personality type, but it is a part of your overall message. My personal personality type is very easygoing, and I did not like professions that were super serious, that were like, you have to grind at this very hard and life is difficult and you have to pay the price. I did not agree with that. My personality type is more easygoing, and I realized that I stay the happiest when I'm working about 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, not more than that. So I don't want to work more than 6 hours a day, and I don't want to work more than 5 days a week, and I stay the happiest when I'm in that zone. So I was drawn towards professions which allowed for doing a little bit of smart work, a little bit of hard work, and a basic combination of these two, giving you a nice and easy, comfortable life. Of course, there are many phases of business in which I have and I will be able to work 19-hour days, 6 days a week. I've done that in the past, and when the opportunity presents itself, I'll be able to work that hard. But broadly, my personality type is just take it easy, don't take too much stress, and that is what I tell my clients. And if I'm taking a sales meeting with the salespeople, usually people are stressed and they're like, I've never been successful at sales, I'll never be able to do this, it is so difficult for me. My first message to them is just relax and take it easy, it's all good. Okay, so that's part of my personality type. The third layer is formed by people and the books that you read. First of all, content, the books that you read, the videos and the movies that you watch. Okay, the kind of friends that you have, and what is it about them that you like the best, and then other influences that you may have had from outside that you resonate with, and they form part of your philosophy. So if you're unable to figure out from these two what your philosophy should be, just look at the kind of books you like to read, the kind of movies you like to watch. What is the thing about those movies that you appreciate? What are the kind of friends that you like to have, and what is it about those friends that really attracts you towards them? You form a great friendship and things like that. Now, these are some of the things that will form, another layer of your philosophy. So literally, the three forms of my philosophy, the three lines in which I can communicate my philosophy is, number one, you can be whoever or whatever you want to be with the right kind of effort. The second thing is, I have an easygoing personality. So what I believe in for my success and for some other people's success that I consult is that let me get my thoughts collected over here. That in order to pick up the correct skills that you need to get to the next level or wherever you want to go, you can pick up these skills and master these skills to about 80% of world-class standards within a period of 90 days, right? So I have my 80-90 rule, that whatever that for you to achieve a certain result in life, whether it is in the financial domain or it's in personal improvement or it's you want to be more peaceful, you want to have better family life, whatever it is, you need to develop certain skills, or you need to become a certain different kind of person in order to get different results. And those skills can be mastered by anybody, whatever that skill is, about 80% of world-class standard in about 3 months of hard work. Okay, so if you wanted to pick up a musical instrument, people may say that I don't have a musical ear and I've never been able to play musical instruments. Don't worry about it. With about 3 months of concerted effort and the right kind of training, you can become about 80% good at it. Now, if you compare yourself with somebody who's like a world-class person at playing that instrument, then you may have to spend 5 to 10 years to master that skill. But for most drawing room conversations where you have a glass of wine and you want to listen to a little bit of guitar, you can be that person, that guitar player, within about 90 days. That is my philosophy. And that's what I teach in my consulting to people who are, scared, saying, I can never be a salesperson, I cannot do this, I've never been successful at this. And I'm like, just take it easy and relax. I'm going to teach you 3 or 4 skills that will, if you practice them very well and apply them 30 hours a week, in about 90 days time, you will be about 80% of the way there, and you don't need to be better than that. Okay, this is not a linear competition where you need to be the best person in the world in order to be able to be the best lawyer or best doctor or best business person. Everybody who gets into business does not need to be Steve Jobs, and everybody who gets into sales does not need to be like the number 1 salesperson on the planet. Okay, you can be about 80% good in 3 months of hard work, and that is enough. And then the third part of my philosophy, again, like I said, The Matrix was a movie that really had a great impact on me. And the third part of my philosophy is that whatever system it is, after some time, if you feel that it is not fitting very well, then you need to change into a new system. And when you try to do that, just expect that the old system will try to pull you back a lot, right? So I don't know if in my career I've changed streams and entire industries in about every 7 to 10 years time frame. Because after that time, I start feeling that, okay, I've done enough, and after this is getting boring, and then the kind of people I am surrounding myself with are not helping me grow. And then what I do is just snap. I just find a new industry or a new line of work, and I just shift. And the whole shift, again, takes me about 90 days to master the skills. And when I'm making the shift, it's always usually very painful, right? So when I gave up my medical career in order to get into something else, it was painful because I was giving up all the career prospects, all the beautiful rosy future that comes with being a hotshot doctor. I was giving that up, so it was painful. And then when I was giving up a salaried job to become a consultant, it was painful because the salary was holding me back, right? So at all times it will cause a little bit of pain, but with the right kind of focus, you can make that shift, and you will realize that you'll find yourself in a better world, which is the message from the Matrix, right? So so snap out and shift out and escape from the Matrix, right? So the Matrix was a movie that really impacted me in a good way. So that is my message that I take out into the market. Okay. Now, if I try to compete with a lot of software companies, because I'm also selling software in the market essentially, if I try to compete with a lot of software companies, I will not be able to make those softwares because I don't have the resources and I don't have the brains. If I try to compete with the best sales and marketing people in the world, like probably Brian Tracy or Dr. Bindra or whatever, I won't be able to compete because I'm nobody in front of their achievements. But when I bring this philosophy to the table, I say you can do whatever you want to do. It takes about 80 days. It takes about 90 days of concerted effort to be 80% good, and that's all you need to be. And then whenever you try to snap out of your current mental paradigm into a new paradigm, it will always pull you back. There will always be a lot of difficulty, but when you break through that difficulty, life is better on the other side. When I take this message to market, some people resonate with me. And when they resonate with me, they get an opportunity to sit down with me, and then I have a sales process where I walk them through my thoughts. And some of those people who sat with me say, I want to do business with you. And when they do business with me, they obviously pay me, and then they obviously need some software support, some automation. And I say, well, if you like what I've done so far, I would recommend these 2 softwares, but beware that these softwares, I'm a marketing partner with these softwares. So if you buy a license, I stand to gain from that. And by that time, they're like, boss, I agree with you. I like what you do. I like what you think. If you're going to be there for me, then I don't care what you do, as long as it's within budget, and that's fine. Now suddenly I have a market. I have a market in an area where I have zero expertise because I don't have a software degree. I have leverage in an area where I am literally a nobody as compared to the big names in the market. So when it comes to sales and marketing acceleration, how many gurus are there who teach sales and marketing? Hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands. How many gurus are there who help startups, startup consultants? Hundreds of thousands, many of them bigger than me. But with my philosophy, I collect a little bit of attention where some people are willing to do business with me, and that's enough for me, right? So you will collect the right kind of people who will want to do business with you because they believe in the same things that you believe in. Or when you tell your philosophy to them, they will be like, dude, I agree with you. I agree with you, and that's why I want to do business with you. And then you're off to the races. Okay, all of this other stuff, what products and services to build, bring to the table, and how to do the sales and all that is very, very easy in today's times. Like I said, you can actually go head to head against a multi-crore rupee company and win with the right kind of, smart attitude that you apply over there, because in today's age, it is the communication age, it is the internet age, it is the information age. A small guy and a big guy are pretty much level, right? And if you can bring the tenacity and the flexibility of an agile small company, like a single person company, like a solopreneur company or something which you can start with, then you can actually beat the big brands. All that is the easier part. This is the difficult part. Okay, this is a difficult part because we are scared to express ourselves. We are scared to admit to ourselves what we need to do. I was scared to admit to myself that I actually wanted to quit the medical profession. When I wanted to quit my job, I was scared because I was giving up a fat paycheck to quit my job, right? So, so these are the things that that you need to do. And I have a small exercise for you. What I want you to do is write down a few incidents that kind of define, some of the aha moments in your childhood. Write down what you think your personality type is and how that would resonate with your message. And if not, write down some of the names of some of your friends and all. What makes you drawn to them? What is the connect between you guys? And you'll figure out what your personality type is. And what are some of the movies, books? What is some of the content? What is the stuff on YouTube that you surf when you're just sitting around in your free time, not doing anything constructive? What is it that you surf on YouTube? What is it that you surf on Facebook? What are the kind of books that you like to read, etc.? And then write down 3 lines. It could be any 3. It could be more than 3. And it could be any 3. It could be less than 3 also. Lines of your philosophy around which you will build your fan following and your market. Because once you have the market, products and services there are hundreds of thousands of products and services that will come to your assistance because they need the market and you have the market, right? So, so that's your exercise for you. I want you to write down 3 lines of what your message or philosophy to the market is going to be, depending on how it has impacted you and benefited you in your personal life. And then that's around that we are going to build your entire messaging, your branding, your company, your sales, your business house, everything. Okay. So that's it from my side. If you have any other questions, do feel free to message me, and I will see you in the next video where we will talk about what are the different niches where money is to be found or where success is to be found. And if you're not into it for a commercial reason, that's fine. What are the different niches that you could look into where you could provide your message and build your brand so that people could be drawn towards you? You can build a community even if it does not have a profit motive. You see lots of groups on Facebook which have 25,000 people in that group, 30,000, 40,000 people in the group, and Facebook groups are free. And the person driving the group literally has nothing but a 3-line philosophy, and then people are drawn towards it, and then they start exchanging their views and thoughts, and it becomes a rich experience for everybody. So you can do that as well. Okay, so that's your exercise for the day. I will see you in another video in another couple of days. Till then, stay safe and take it easy. Bye-bye.